you just saw what we are going to achieve at the end of this video. So instead of wasting time, let me just tell you what I am going to teach you today, how we are going to achieve it. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to use OpenAI Assistant API to upload a PDF, then ask question to that PDF, like what that PDF is about and what we should, what we want and what we can get from it. All those, we can ask questions to that PDF and we can get answers based on the text, based on whatever the data is there inside that PDF, and we can get the answers based on that data. So that's what we are going to do today. Now, how we are going to achieve it, I have, you can see clearly all the steps here in front of you, like what we need and what we have to do. So first thing we need is OpenAI API key, of course. How can you get it? You have the steps here. You can log into your OpenAI account and then click on profile and go to the view API keys and create one API key, generate one secret key, and then just copy it and paste it somewhere secure. You don't have to do anything else. Okay. Now, after that, you have to, the second step is create assistant. Okay. Now, it is a very important thing. We are going to create assistant only once, and we are going to use that assistant for different threads or different files. We can use it, the same assistant. So we will create an assistant only once. We will get an assistant ID from that after creating an assistant, and we will store that assistant ID somewhere, and we can use the same assistant ID for all the tasks. Okay. So let me just tell you what will be the flow of what we are going to do today. The flow is here. I just created this one. So you can see here, we have OpenAI, we got OpenAI key. We have created one assistant here. I will show you how we can create assistant. So we created one assistant. Now we, after that, these are the multiple threads. As I said already, that we will create assistant only once, and we will use the same assistant for multiple threads. So here we are creating one thread. I will tell you everything, like how we are going to create a thread and how we are going to create user message, how we are going to upload everything. So first we created assistant, then we created a thread, and we uploaded file here. We uploaded file, we got file ID after uploading the file. Then we are creating user message, like what questions we want to ask to that PDF, like who is the author of this text or of this file, who wrote this. If that particular file is PDF is about you can say a book, then you can ask like who is the author, anything, what are the characters in that PDF, all those things you can ask. So you can create your user message. So after uploading a file, you got file ID. Using that file ID, you are creating one user message, and you are just giving this user message with the thread ID. You are creating everything here, and you are passing that thread ID plus assistant ID to run. So in run, you will get thread ID, assistant ID, and for both thread ID and assistant ID, you will create a run. So now here you can imagine, even if we have single assistant, threads are different. So thread 2 will have different thread ID, thread 3 will have different thread ID. So for thread 2, you will pass thread 2's thread ID, and assistant ID will be same. And then after running this, you will get message list, all the messages like within that thread. Like this message list will contain all the messages, like user messages as well, plus assistant messages, like answers, you can say. So this message list will have questions plus answers, all those things. What you have to do, you have to just fetch whatever the assistant reply. I mean, whatever the answer that OpenAI has given to that question, that you have to extract and you have to display that. That's it. That is what you have to do. So all this flow we are going to see today, how we are going to achieve it. Let's jump into it. Now that you have seen the flow, let me just tell you about the code, how we are going to achieve it. First thing first, we are going to talk about the backend. We are not going to tell, we just created one index.html file for how we are going to display. This is one simple file. You can create it on your own. Let's not jump into it. We will just talk about the backend, like how we are doing it in the backend. So what I did, I created one Django project, and I will not tell you how Django project is going. We created all that is basic stuff. And if you want to learn, I have another Python and Django series. You can go and watch it there. So I created one simple Django project, and in the environment in .env file, I added two keys. You can see here. One is OpenAI API key that we got from our account after logging in, and we got from the account. And another is assistant ID. This is what we created after using this OpenAI API key. Using this, we created one assistant ID. Now, how we created this assistant ID? Here. See, you can see here the project structure. This is a Django project in which I just created one assistant, or you can say application. I added this assistant application into the settings, all those things. It's just about the Django. Let's not divert your attention toward the Django. Let's be focused on what we are going to do today. So what we did here, we created an assistant. How we created assistant? Like this. Okay, this is how we created an assistant. We used OpenAI key from the .env file. We have OpenAI. Now you don't have to write this code like line by line. You can directly go to the OpenAI's documentation. You can see here. Just go to the documentation, and here you can see. You can copy this code from here. See, create assistant. Copy it from here. Yeah, that's it. Now, very important thing. You can see here. Tools. While creating an assistant, this is very important key. What you are going to use this assistant for? Like in our case, we are going to use our assistant to detect the file, to get the file information, and answer based on that. Okay. This code interpreter is if you want to use our personal code or anything, then in that case we can go with the code interpreter. But in our case, we are just sticking to the file search. Okay, this is the tool type. So this is a very important thing. If you are going to use the same what we are if you want the same what we are going to achieve in this video, then you should go with the file search as your tool. So tools is equal to tools type will be file search here. In this case, model you can choose whichever you want, and here instructions you have to give, like answer questions based on the uploaded PDF file or anything, like you are an assistant who does this particular job. So we have in the instructions, we have mentioned what you have to do to that assistant. And tools, file search. And after that, just run this function. Anyway, you can run this in the shell. I ran it in the shell, and I got this assistant ID, print assistant ID. And once you run this function, you will get assistant ID. Just get that assistant ID and store it in your environment file, like this here. I have stored it here, but I'm not going to show you because my OpenAI key is also there. So you just have to copy it and paste it here. Assistant ID, paste the OpenAI key here. Now we can use both the things in our actual view. Okay. Now we got the assistant ID. We got it here. Okay. Thread ID. Okay, fine. For now, I got it from my side. Let's keep it none. Or let's make it none as well. Okay. And now what we are going to do, we are going to create 3 APIs today. One is for index, for our home page, you can say. So it will be index. One is upload API, and one other is ask question API. These are the 3 APIs we are going to create. Index API is very simple one. Let's go to our index views document. Now here, this is only index page, just return assistant and index.html. So there is nothing in it, and we don't have to look about it. This is the upload ID API. Now here, let me just make it. Let me just uncomment it. I commented because I already had thread ID. Okay. Now open upload PDF. We have thread ID as none, file ID as none, and assistant ID, which we got from env. These two are global variables. Now we just took those global variables just to store our file ID and thread ID. Now here, if the request.method is equal post, we will get file like as a PDF, as I said, as we are going to upload PDF. And after uploading PDF, when we click on the upload button, this is the API which we are going to hit. As you can see in the URL, after clicking the upload button, we are going to hit this API, upload PDF API. As you can see here, upload PDF API. Okay. So if the request is post, do this, and request has a file. If request is post and request has a file, then do this, all those things. Okay. Now, if request has a file, get that file. PDF file is equal to request.files PDF. Okay, we got that file PDF. Now we converted it to the bytes, okay, because we have to, another thing, to upload a file to OpenAI, we have to convert it into the bytes. So we convert it into the bytes using this file underscore bytes. You can get this code anywhere. Okay, we got it. Now after this, we used io.bytes io file bytes, whichever the bytes we got from after reading it, and then file stream we got, and this file stream we are passing into the file. Now this is the main function. This is the main function. Okay. Now file is equal to openai.files.create. We are passing file as file stream, and purpose, this is assistant. Okay, this is also, and this code you can get it from OpenAI documentation. I can show you that documentation. Yeah, here it is. So you can just have to copy it from here. Like purpose you have to mention, assistant you have to mention purpose, and file as open, whatever the binary file you read binary, or you can just copy this code from here, and you can see in the response. Let me just show you. After doing this, okay, you can see here, after doing this, after running this code, you will get the response as JSON. This will be the response. In the response, you will have ID, and this ID you will get in the response, and you just have to get that thing. Okay, you just have to get that ID. So that is what I did. I ran this code openai.files.create with file and purpose as assistant. Okay, and I got the response into the file. Okay, and using this file, I just got file ID, file.id, and I stored it into the file ID, into the global file ID. So I took the file ID and I stored it into this file ID. Okay, now this file ID is what we got from here. Okay, from this file. Now after that, we are creating thread, empty thread. Okay, just empty thread, no message, nothing. Just create one thread. You can create a thread with message itself, but what I did, I just created one empty thread. Thread is equal to openai.beta.threads.create. Okay, you can get this one as well from OpenAI documentation. Let's go to threads, create thread. Okay, here, as you can see, you can create an empty thread like clients.beta. Because it's in beta, so you have to use that. And after that, just print empty thread. So after you do this, you will get response like this. And from this response, you just have to get ID. So whatever the response you got from this client.beta.threads create, you stored it into empty thread variable, and empty thread.id, you will get this, whatever the response is. Okay, you got it. Now, whatever the response you got, you stored it into the thread ID. This is into the global variable, thread ID you stored. Now, just print that thread ID if you want, okay, and give them as response as PDF uploaded successfully, and that's it. Okay, so till now we got file ID here, and we got thread ID. In which API? Upload PDF API. So after clicking upload button, what we are going to get, we are uploading file to assistant, we are uploading file to OpenAI, we are getting file ID and thread ID. That's it. That's what upload button is going to do. Now after that, we have to ask questions. If PDF is uploaded successfully, now we have to ask questions to that PDF. And to ask that questions, as you saw, there is one ask button. Okay, now let's go to URLs here. When you type a question and when you click on ask button, this ask question, this API is going to get hit. Let's go to views, ask questions API. Now it is the get request, so it's not a post request. Now again, we got the thread ID and assistant ID and file ID. These are the global variables. And as you have seen in our previous API, this API, we have already stored thread ID and file ID into global variables. Now here we have actual thread ID, assistant ID, and file ID. Now we just have to, whatever the questions a user has entered, we will get it in the request. So request.get questions, whatever it is, we will just get a question from the request. And this question we have to use to create a message. Now question is, hi, will you please tell me about this PDF, who is author, whatever it is, we will get it in the request. Okay, now use that question to create a message. How we are going to create a message? Here, This is also code which I took from OpenAI documentation. You can just go there and you can get it. Now, what we did here, what we are doing here, this very important thing, okay? We are creating a message with thread ID, okay? So every message will be linked to the thread ID, okay? So always remember that every message will be linked to a particular thread, and that thread we are running. So if different thread has different message, different answer we will get. So thread ID, whatever the thread ID we got from previous API that we stored into thread ID, and that thread ID we are going to use to create a message. So OpenAI beta.thread.messages.create. This is what we have to use. Okay, I will give you all the code. No worries. You will get my GitHub profile and you can get it from there. Okay, GitHub link you will get, and you can get all this code from there. So thread ID will be there. Now role is user, because we are asking question. So role is user, and what answer we will get from OpenAI, the role will be assistant. So here role is user, and content is question. Whatever the question we got into the request here, whatever the question we typed into that inbox you can say, or text we have given, from there we got this request. From that request we got this question, and this question is equal to request.get that question we are using here into the content. Okay, so with the role user, with this particular thread ID, and with this question, we are going to create a message. Now, what about the file? Which file we are going to ask question to? Here we have to attach here. Okay, and if you remember, while creating an assistant, we used tool as file search. The same tool we have to use here as well, so that our assistant can know, okay, my job is to search a particular file and then do a particular job. Okay, that's why tools will be file search. In attachments list, you can see it is a list. In that we have to pass a dictionary with the two different things: file ID, which we got from previous API. This API we got file ID. We have to use that file ID, and tools file search. Okay, these are the two things you have to keep in mind. Now you can, as you can see, attachment, it is a list of attachments. So you can just give the multiple list, like you can have multiple you can say dictionaries with different file IDs. So you can ask questions about different multiple files as well. Okay, so you just have to give the file ID, different file ID, and tool as file search. Again, file ID 2, file ID 3, like that you can have different dictionaries. Okay, sorry. Now, once we have created a message with the particular thread, see, this message is already linked to a particular thread. Now we just have to use that thread ID. We just have to use that thread ID. We just have to run that thread ID. Now here you can see we have to run assistant. Okay, you can get this code as well from OpenAI's documentation. So here you can see run, sorry, or just assistant. Okay, it's gonna take time. Oh yeah, here you got create assistant. That's fine. Let's say where they might have given somewhere, like, yeah, here, go to the runs. Here you can clearly see we just have to run client beta threads runs create. Okay, we have to create a run. We just use this code and we can create a run with thread ID, particular thread ID, and assistant ID that we created first. Okay, so for that, this run will be associated with these two things, assistant ID and thread ID. Based on that, it will distinguish different runs. Okay, so this run will be associated with these two, and in response you will get these things. ID, see, you can see you can get run ID here. Now at the same time, you can see is it failed, it is completed at, what is the status is queued. So in that run you will have runs response. Whatever the response you will get from here, let me just show you. Whatever the response you will get after running this, in that response we will have status of that run as well. Is it queued, is it completed, or is it failed? All those things will be there within this run. Okay, now let's go to our code. So we got the run with the thread ID and assistant ID. This run will have status. Now we just have to check the status. If the that status is completed, then we can go ahead. If it is not, we just have to keep. If it is queued, then we just have to run this while. Now here is the thing. Okay. Sorry. Now in the while true, run check. Okay, we just have to keep checking the run. OpenAI beta.threads run retrieve. You can see here. Now we just ran this thread. Now we just have to check its status. Okay, and to check the status, we are doing this OpenAI beta.thread. This is also there in the documentation. Wait, I will show you. Retrieve run. Okay, this is it. Runs.retrieve, and thread ID we are passing and run ID we are passing, and based on that we got the response, in which we will have status here, which we will get in response the status, and a status has completed. And once the status is completed, we can move ahead. So here we passed thread ID and run ID, which we got from here. Run ID, we already had thread, so thread ID. Now we got one, so we are running it in the while loop. So you can see this while loop. If run.check.status is completed, so keep running this loop until it is completed. And once it is completed, break out of it. You can add more condition. If it is failed, do show the error like file we can the run has failed or anything. So you can add that as well. But for now, I have not added it. So now, once the run status is completed, then come out of this while loop, break up this while loop, and come out of it. Now, once it is completed, we have to get messages. Here it is. Now, once it is completed, you can see completed means what? That thread has completed its run. Now that thread has all the messages, users messages as well, plus OpenAI has searched through the file using tool like file search. It got that particular file, used based on that file ID. It got that particular file. It has searched through the file for that answer. It got the answer, and it has given that answer back into the run, into that thread back, that thread ID which we passed. So within that thread ID messages, we have all the messages, user messages as well as assistant messages. That is questions as well as answers. All those things we have in the messages. Okay, here it is. You can get this thing as well from, of course, OpenAI documentation, messages. See here, create a message, then list messages, then retrieve messages, all those things are here. So you can see here, message, client.beta.thread, messages.retrieve, message ID if you want, and then thread ID. Okay, no need to pass the message ID. We already, cause see, we use that message ID already into the thread, so no need to pass it here. You can directly get it. Okay, so message list, thread ID, we pass that thread ID here directly because we already attached messages into the run. See, into the messages are already attached to the thread into the run, so we don't need to give it here again. We just have to pass the thread ID and into the list. See here, this is the list. Yeah, this one here, we got all the list of messages, thread messages, client beta thread messages.list, and we are passing only thread ID. That's what I was thinking. Why did they pass message ID again? Okay, so this is what the list of all the messages we are getting. Now we just have to pass thread ID here. And now after that, whatever the messages are there, we can either print all the messages if we want. We don't need all the messages. We just need the messages which we are going to get from assistant role. Like we can see after running this code, we got the response like this. So you can see here in the objects data. It is of course it is JSON. In that one field is their data, which is a list. Okay, this is the list, and you can see here this messages is a JSON. From that data, we are going to access data. Within that data, the first thing, this the first thing within that data, the data is a list. From that list, we are going to access the zeroth, and it means first thing, like whichever the last question we are going to ask, that's what we are going to do. We are just going to retry the first thing here, because you can see it will go in the stack way. Like the first message will go at the last, and then like this, hello, what is AI? So first message will go last, so the second message will be on top. So we just have to get the first message, and that's what we did here. We just got the zero. So we got the first thing. Now within that, we have to get the content. We are inside this. We have to get the content, which is also a list. So we got the content, which is also a list, in which we have to get the first thing again. Because here you can see this is a user's message. Okay, content. So this will be the text. This is what we have to extract, value. The text, and then again inside value. So this is what we did here. Data within that content, within the text, and within that value. So we got that value. And this is what we are going to get into the answer. And this is what answer we are going to JSON response, show it to the user. Okay, I hope you understand. Now let me just show you the whole flow on like how is it going to look on front end. As you can see, this index.html we are using to show it all the code on the front end. You can see I'm not going to go into this how we are. Only thing you have to remember that we are going to use these 3 different APIs to get it. So now we just have to run our code. Oh, sorry. Just run server. Okay. Now it is running on this code. Just click on it. Just open anything. This is the documentation. Just use it. Okay. Now this is the front end, as we were saying. Now we have to choose a file first. We will choose any file. Let's say I just got one file which is about the Cinderella and just one kid's story. Okay, this is one file we have created, and then now we are clicking on upload button. The moment we click on upload button, we are passing this file in the request, and we are hitting this upload button. When we click on upload button, what will happen in the background here? Upload, this API will get called, and this upload PDF view, this business logic will run. How? Here. So see here in the request you will get PDF. Here you will get here you are passing that PDF to the file creation. So here we will get the file ID, and then we will get the thread ID. So you can see here, once you click on this upload button, you will upload this PDF to the OpenAI. You will get file ID and empty thread ID. Okay, so let's upload it. Let's click on it. So you can see PDF uploaded successfully. Now that thread ID and file ID has been stored into the file ID and thread ID global variables. Okay, now ask questions like hi, and ask. Okay, it has given answer. Hello, how can I assist you today? If you need help with credit report or anything, whatever it is, just it's giving an like how can I help you and all those things, because we have just asked hi. Now we can ask hi, will you please tell me about what this PDF is about? What is this PDF about? And just ask. The PDF documentation you uploaded is an edition of story Cinderella written by this particular person. It tells about, also it has given what this PDF is about. Okay, because that's what we have asked the questions. What are the different characters in it? Let's ask another question. And click on ask. I did not add, sorry to say that the loader you can say, that's why it's difficult for you. So it has given all the characters like There is a Cinderella, the protagonist, a kind and gentle girl who is mistreated by her family and all those things. Then there is a stepmother, then stepsisters, the fairy godmother, the princess there, king and queen. All those things are characters are there. So like this way. So you can see what we got today. We uploaded one particular file and we are asking questions about that file, and OpenAI is giving answers about by reading that file, uploaded file, and it's giving answers to us. Okay, so this is what this project is about. You just have to get an OpenAI key. You have to create an assistant ID, store it somewhere, then upload a file ID, upload a file, a PDF, then get a file ID, then create an empty thread, then create a message like which is linked to that uploaded file ID and also the empty thread, and then run that thread with the assistant ID, get that thread messages here, and after that, from all the messages, just retrieve the first message and answer based on that. So this is what we had in today's video. Okay, so I'll see you in our next video, which will be about the chart completion API. You can also, if you want to learn about Python and all the Django in very simple way and words, then please subscribe to this channel, and please watch all the videos. If you like, please you can comment as well whatever you want to learn about the technology. I can teach you about different technologies. Okay, that's it. Yeah, thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you in the next video.